Welcome to Encouragement by Ron. We're in session 3 of the Possibility Thinking series. For those of you who do not have the study guide, see the note here on how to obtain the PDF file of the study guide we're using in this series. This week we want to deal with seeing beyond obstacles. And we begin by looking at a question of, what type of obstacle do we perceive in our life that may or may not be hindering us in terms of all that we could do in possibility thinking. So let me go over a few things that might be helpful as we talk about this area. Is remove your disadvantage complex. Oftentimes, opportunities to deal with issues in our personal life, our spiritual life, our professional, entrepreneurial life is due to perceived obstacles that we have. Just want to go over some that are rather common, that you would not be unique in having these obstacles. One is that I'm too old for whatever it is. I'm too old to begin. I'm too old to resolve this issue. I'm too old to solve the problem, whether that's personal, spiritual, or related to a profession. Another is I'm handicapped or disabled in some manner. There's something about me, maybe even thrown in this mix, is I don't think I look good enough, or physically, or whatever it might be. There's some physical elements that we put in the way as obstacles for achieving all we can through possibility thinking. Maybe you could say I'm from a lowly or low socioeconomic background. My background is nothing great in my eyes, and that keeps me from achieving what I could achieve. It hinders me in being fully there into possibility thinking. Maybe I had a bad childhood and or experiences. Well, these are very real, not to be dismissed lightly at all. But maybe sometimes these create an obstacle to all that we could become. They become obstacles that we place in the way, even though it's very real. But what can we do to get around that in order to achieve the best life possible through possibility thinking? Another is I just don't know the right people, whatever we think that is, our connections and so forth. In a future session, we will be dealing with how to build your network, and that may help you with this obstacle, if you have this obstacle. Then I don't have a good education, however you define that. Yeah, there are certain opportunities that we need to be trained for properly in order to fully achieve. But a lot of the issues that we're dealing with do not require specific education or training, but it's an obstacle that we put in our own path in order to try to achieve the best life through possibility thinking. So when we take a look at all of these ways that we may be creating some obstacles for ourselves, we need to also think is, how do I usually respond to setbacks or obstacles? Do I shut down and just give up, or do I rethink and try to develop another way around it to achieve? One of the things that we'd like to do for this session in your study guide as you work through it this coming week is choose one of the problems that you've identified in session 1 or 2, and then brainstorm 2 opportunities that might be hiding. And you say, well, what do you mean hiding? Well, if I have a problem that I'm trying to resolve, there actually may be an opportunity in that problem that I'm not seeing because I just have obstacles in my mind. All I see are how it can't be done. And I need to learn to see beyond the obstacles. An illustration of this is a story it's been repeated quite a bit because it happened several decades ago. But for the longest time, in people that ran races, the 1 mile run, we used to say that the 4 minute mile could not be broken, that there was some kind of barrier there to the human physique and so forth, that you couldn't break the 4 minute mile. And finally, one person broke the 4 minute mile after people had tried for decades. And lo and behold, within the next 2 to 3 years, multiple people broke the 4 minute mile. It really had become a psychological barrier. And so sometimes when we are looking at a problem we're trying to achieve, we also want to look at the opportunities that it presents, that we can try to get around it. In this case, the opportunity of working with your mind, changing the limitation of the mind, that you couldn't go beyond that. Possibly we have a problem right now with something within maybe your family. You wish your family got together more often, were more courteous with each other, and it's been a problem. Well, you look for the opportunities in that problem. You say, well, I imagine there's more than just me that would like to get together. You look for opportunities, say, yeah, I wish we could get together more often and communicate better. And you start trying to find a commonality of what people want. And then you use that to begin to remove obstacles. You say, okay, well, we say we haven't done it because just whatever, the family problems, the squabbles, the drama. But you use the opportunity that people really would like to get together, even with all this chaos and craziness. You use those barriers, those obstacles, to kind of look for opportunities to go around it. There again, it takes time, something you may have to reflect on, think about, talk to others about. But we want to use these existing problems that we have, or the one that we want to really solve. Look at those obstacles that we have, and those, some of them may be obstacles we place or obstacles that are there for other reasons, and trying to find opportunities even in the midst of the obstacles. The other thing that we want to look at is how we can achieve solutions by doing small problems first. I mentioned in another session that one of the things that really helped me is that for the first time I did a major project successfully, customizing a car. And lo and behold, that had a ripple effect in almost every area of my life since age 16. It's like I needed to go get through something, and that's small compared to the other obstacles and issues and problems I've dealt with later in life. So the goal is that we want to continue to analyze, using the study guide, various areas of problems, issues we want resolved, achievements we want to gain, and look at how our own person gets in the way, oftentimes, of achieving what we could achieve. Let's take a look at the study guide. Let's work through it. Let's continue to go, and we'll talk more about this in future sessions. Thank you.